We are at Bitcoin 104,000. We had the crypto ball yesterday. Trump rug pulled 500 million Trump coins, but the coin is still up. So you know, maybe Trump coin is the new Cardano. I don't know. It doesn't matter. I'm only focused on Bitcoin, and I'm only focused on the U.S. economy. And this episode is going to be about the next 12 years, and I want to talk specifically about Bitcoin versus US M2. So that'll be the title of this episode. As always, if you are following me on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. It helps my SEO a lot, and follow me on Twitter as well. And if you want, you can follow me on subscribe to my Twitter posts. $1 a month, and I put a little bit of extra content there for my subscribers. It's just kind of my way of staying in touch with the people who really follow me and responding to them. So anyways, let's talk about this. I want to share this post that my friend Money or Debt came out with a couple days ago. And I think this is a really interesting post. So let's go back to the actual post. The post is this. He says, this is a graph and a table from the beginning of last year. And he now thinks, with the current data on the power law, that we have a very, very good chance, okay, guys, of hitting hyper-Bitcoinization in 12 years. And so what do we mean by hyper-Bitcoinization? It doesn't really mean the end of fiat, but it means that Bitcoin is pretty much world money everywhere. And, you know, one way to look at that is, will Bitcoin exceed US M2, which is our the bigger money supply metric, and will it exceed gold? And if you look at this table, and I'm going to go through this table now, let's look at this table, because this is using a 5.82 index, which is kind of where we are now in the power law. And it's also assuming gold growing at 5% and 9%, right? So gold's not going to stay constant over the next 12 years. It's going to grow, and it's actually been growing at about 9%. M2 has been growing at about 7%, so we can just grow those two. And we can look at the gold market cap and the Bitcoin supply and market cap. And we can also look at how many people have some form of Bitcoin. How many people have non-zero addresses, okay? Now, this is growing at a power of 2.85, so just under 3. So we get this sort of very Metcalfe law-y aspect where the ratio of the non-zero addresses to the Bitcoin price is roughly the square, right? So, which is half the power, okay? So let's just take a look at this. And we see, okay, here we are now in 2025, right? And the Bitcoin market cap's about 2 trillion, a little bit higher than the 2 trillion right now. And, you know, in 12 years, we get a 20x of here. We go up to 40 trillion, okay, a little bit more than 50 trillion, so 25x, right? What happens to gold? Well, gold goes from a 16 trillion to about a 45 trillion. So Peter Schiff can still claim, oh, wow, gold did great, it doubled. M2 doubles, okay, and I think this is, it may grow more than double, right?
Bitcoin is poised to hit the once unthinkable figure of $1 million. You heard it right, $1 million. Hunter Horsley, the confident chief executive of Bitwise, recently spurred this conversation with his bold predictions while voicing his observations on the future trajectory of Bitcoin. Joining the chorus, investor Fred Krueger noted the scaling limitations of Bitcoin, but acknowledged its wrapped versions offer scalability across different chains. But is Bitcoin really going to hit $1 million soon? Let's delve deeper into these predictions. Welcome back to Investocracy Crypto.
Right now, M2 is doubling, okay? And the amazing thing is we have now, in this kind of world, we have Bitcoin is now exceeding in 12 years USM2, okay? And it's exceeding gold. So somewhere in this 11 to 12 year period, we are trend line, exceeding M2 and both exceeding gold. So we might actually spike there a little bit earlier. You know, maybe we spike there in 2032, right? So in just 7 years. So somewhere in the 8 to 12 year range, we're going to be very clearly on a path of Bitcoin replacing the dollar in terms of the money giant. So I thought that was a really, really interesting analysis. And here's this visual graph of it, right? We have Bitcoin's the orange, and it's coming, and the green and the yellow are kind of growing at the 7 and 9% range, and then the Bitcoin's just kind of growing initially at around 44%, and just it'll surpass them. So I really thank Stephen Paranode, Money or Debt, for this. If you don't follow Stephen, you should follow Money or Debt. It's a great account. Stephen is, we're so fortunate to have him on Twitter. He's a Harvard astrophysicist, Sun Microsystems, high-powered computing expert, and you should absolutely follow this account. So that's my talk. I'm just going to keep it there. I'm not going to talk about the Trump shitcoins or anything. It doesn't matter. Bitcoin's nothing stops this train. Bitcoin's on a roll, and I think with the idea that we're only a decade away from hyper-Bitcoinization, it really just tells me that you should not be trying to be too smart with this. Don't trade this thing. Don't try to outsmart Bitcoin. Don't short Bitcoin under any circumstance. If you have to sell some Bitcoin for expenses, sell some Bitcoin for expenses. But yeah, I think we're on this amazing train, and I'm all on board for hyper-Bitcoinization.
Horsley and Krueger paint a picture of a new dawn in 2025, where Bitcoin's adoption will transcend its cultural niche into institutional mainstream. The number of spot Bitcoin ETFs is expected to swell, spurred by the exhilarating $40 billion that these products have already pulled in within a mere year of operation in the U.S.
Let's sort of examine how we get there and what it looks like in terms of a path to get there. So I got a few things I want to show you. So first of all, let's just ask ourselves, is this going to break the power law? So this is an old spreadsheet I did. There's a lot of different ways of looking at the power law. But the trend line of the power law, is sort of around 80,000 right now. And, 5 years from now, we're getting to 365,000 trend line. So it's, a million's kind of a lot higher than that. But, what I would look at sort of one standard deviation up using these power band approach that I like, we're almost there. So I would sort of say, this does not say we're not going to get there within 5 years. Within 10 years, I believe that we're absolutely going to get there within 10 years. We're going to get to 1 million. But so the first thing we have to go on is the power law. And the power law, I think, is okay, gives us the green light for talking about getting there. Now, let's just ask ourselves, how does this look in terms of these different sort of milestones, right? And before I do that, I want to look at this tweet that I did. And here's this tweet, and this is my sort of steps to Bitcoin 1 million. Well, obviously on January 20th, we're getting a new administration. I think we're going to get some form of Bitcoin strategic reserve. It may just be as simple as we designate the current Bitcoins that we own as a strategic reserve. We may get something more like the Cynthia Loomis bill. I would like that. I'm not sure we're going to get that immediately. But we're going to have a new SEC chair. MicroStrategy is undoubtedly going to be raising more money in the form of convertible bonds. possibly preferred. And I think all this is going to get us to Bitcoin 150 by the end of Q1.
This isn't just loose change rattling in a crypto piggy bank. It's a testament to the serious allure Bitcoin holds over professional and everyday investors. Let's not forget Mark Moss, a Bitcoin educator and investor, who amplifies this narrative by noting that this cycle is much different than the last ones, bringing ETF demand, sovereign buyers, and corporate treasuries into play. Yet, amidst its turbulent behavior, Bitcoin has found a surprisingly tight trading range of late. But before going any further, if you made it this far into the video, thank you. These videos take a lot of effort and time to make, so if you enjoyed them, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. This goes a long way in helping us grow. That said, back to the video.
So right now, SPY has $630 billion of AUM, right? So they're adding massive amounts of AUM every year. Like they're adding 100 billion a year of AUM. That just tells you how much money there is out there that's pouring into these ETFs. And, you know, right here we got IBET here at 53 billion after only 1 year. I think, you know, we go from 53 billion to 150 billion. We get to almost this level just on Bitcoin appreciation, and or maybe even up to this level, just in Bitcoin appreciation. Now you have a bunch of new inflows. You get up to here, maybe you get to the top. It's possible we get to the top in a year or two. Okay, more likely by 5 years. I think we're at the top. $1 million Bitcoin will get you there.
This might be your golden ticket. If, like Willy Wonka's fantastical venture, you're prepared for a memorable ride. Bitcoin today grappled a dip below $96,000 with its famed volatility, but seems optimistically poised on the launchpad of potential prosperity. What do you guys think? Will Bitcoin reach the big 1 million? Leave your thoughts in the comments down below. And finally, if you would like to know more about cryptocurrencies or specifically Bitcoin, go ahead and click on the next video on your screen. See you there.